companies who traditionally don't interact with the end consumer are now getting impacted by consumerization. So I wanted to ask Linda, who is at GE, a company that we traditionally know as a B2B organization, how has this shift to consumerization affected your role and your company?
Yeah, it's such a great question. I mean, I think we're the poster child for B2B. So, you know, a couple years ago, as we really started to lean into digital, I can't tell you the number of conversations I was in with our executives who said, you know, we're not going to sell a jet engine online, we're not going to sell a wind turbine online. The truth is, you don't sell a can of Coke online either. So this is about, for us, connecting to the consumer in a way that's transparent, that's real. I often think of it as GE is our best self, if you will. As we've done research, as all companies do, we find that the more people know about GE, the more they want to work with us, the more they want to partner with us, the more they want to buy our stock, not an insignificant thing. So digital, the platforms that we're on, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vidi, all of them, frankly, give us an opportunity, Mitra, to share our passion for science and technology with people who are equally as engaged, as interested in topics like that. I often find that as a company that you can't hold a jet engine in your hands, but what we can do is open up the doors of the factory, so to speak. We can open up the doors to the executive suite, and we can let people get to know us through videos. While you can't hold the jet engine, we can help you see a flyover of our factory and get close. We can be human. We can be very transparent. So for us, it's been a tremendous opportunity, not without its challenges, to be our authentic best self. That's kind of the way I think about it all the time. And I guess I would add to that for those of you in somewhat similar situations, visual is a tremendous opportunity for us to lean in and think about how to bring ourselves to life through photos, through videos, through connection points that you can't always get in other mediums. So that's kind of how we're looking at it.
You know, it's really interesting because I struggle with, sometimes you see a lot of activity in the social space about companies that don't really produce consumer goods.
Right.
And so I can see the importance of it. And the digital consumer is not just a consumer of a product or a service necessarily. It's really the consumer of the bigger world.
That's right. Of the brand, of the bigger world, our reputation is so important. But on the business side, just pulling off what you heard from our last speaker, we've also leaned into social when it comes to ideation. And you know, that's been a big hallmark for us. A couple years ago, we started to think about how can consumers help us as we think about creation and innovation. We did something, and we're happy to talk more about it, of course, where we invited people to share their ideas around smart grid and clean energy and renewables. And you know, this I don't know, that's kind of a somewhat specific topic. And we had 5,000 ideas, 100,000 people as part of this. We've invested in companies. We're about to go to market, actually, with an inflatable wind turbine. We never would have had that idea, despite the fact that we've got thousands of scientists inside the company. So that kind of ability to use that open platform to bring others in, that's been tremendous for us.
So, Linda, tell us a little bit about what you think, if you had to give advice to the audience, if they were in the B2B companies, what are some key things that you think are important for them to recognize and pursue?
Sure. So, look, I think a few things. One is, it was only about 18 months ago that we really started in earnest to say, how do we embrace social? How do we embrace digital? How do we embrace mobile? So I guess lesson number one is it's never too late. You know, you think you're behind the curve, and the ability to catch up fast in this space is lightning fast. So don't be intimidated, guys. That's number one. Number two is think about the spaces in terms of who you are on those spaces. You know, what I love about social is, to me, it feels as though this isn't so much the GE corporate voice, but it's a conversation that you're having with people. So think about that conversation, and think about if you were having a conversation with somebody, it probably wouldn't be about product features and functionality, right? It would be the bigger idea. It might be around, in our case, renewables. It might be about health and affordable health, accessible health. So, you know, resist the urge to sort of productize the conversation. And then I would say, listen really, really hard. You know, to us, social is about both things. It is about us sharing what we're doing through content and context, and the context point to me is very important. But it's also about an opportunity to hear from the community. In our appliances business, which is a B2C business, but in essence, it's not quite B2C. You don't buy appliances on our website. We have a dealer network. But what we've started to do there a couple years ago was, you know, similar in a sense to some of what you heard from Dennis, is we would go on, we'd listen to conversations through sentiment tools, Radian6 kinds of tools. And at first we just listened. And it's hard to listen to somebody who's having a lot of trouble with your device. It's really hard. So we said, wait a minute, there's an opportunity here to engage. And we've started to do it in a very personal way. So it's you know, we literally have somebody who will go on when they see somebody complaining about a refrigerator or a microwave and introduce themselves, hi, I'm Linda, let me help you. So, you know, I think a piece of this as well is figuring out how you play there. And then my last piece of advice that I've taken personally, so I encourage all of you to as well, is please don't stay on the sidelines. You just can't in this space. You can't talk about Instagram. You can't talk about Twitter. You have to be using it. You have to get your hands dirty, because the difference in doing that versus just looking at it theoretically is an enormous gap. And I would not myself, nor I think anybody on my team, be able to think about the consumer experience that we're creating if we weren't on the playing field. So just a couple things that hopefully you'll find helpful.
Thank you. I think that it's something that you said triggered a thought in my mind, that listening to your consumers is not just listening to them, to reading the words or hearing what they say. We have so many tools now in the digital platform through analytics and through really the information out there is so vast that you can observe the behavior of your consumers and really infer from that, learn something about your business and learn about something you're doing. And then this really taking the time to engage in the platform and engage with your customers, that's a new way that we can demonstrate customer service that really enhances loyalty. I mean, I think when you think back about experiences that we've had as consumers, you know, many of my great experiences, they're mainly in the hospitality because I travel a lot and I have to, you know, go to hotels, have come from bad experiences. So when you say it's very difficult for you to hear someone say something negative about your product, that's really an opportunity to turn it around. And the digital platform really enables us, because you're not only talking to that person and assuaging their concerns, now everybody else has heard you do that and seen you do that, and that just enhances your brand and your value.
I would add one element which you made me think of, and that is, I think if you're sitting out there thinking about should I or shouldn't I engage, I say this a lot internally at GE, I would ask yourself what the risk of not engaging is. Because the risk of not engaging in a group that's thinking about innovation is to let a conversation go on without you being part of it. And when you have the opportunity, to Mitra's point, to be part of it, I think, at least the way we look at it, is the risk is much higher not to jump in.